stop pretending to be shocked at the most obvious shit ever. Like, stop. It's not shocking that they unconstitutionally said they're going to make an executive order, which is basically meaningless. They're tweets at this point, establishing an anti-STEEPLEPEOPLE task force. You know, just like he's trying to establish a task force to go after influencers who don't like him. The party of free speech is spending most of their day just threatening everyone that they don't like, threatening media outlets, threatening influencers, trying to create programs for welfare, for corporations, for billionaires, for steeple people, and now they want a steeple people task force to make sure that anyone who's expressing anti-faith sentiment in their direction is punished by law. Do you understand how that is? Yes, it's unconstitutional. And the news headlines are going like, wow, you can't do that. What about all the other faiths? What? That's not constitutional. Gee, I wonder why they pulled the Constitution off the fucking government websites. Because they said it needs to be revised. Their press secretary said the Constitution is unconstitutional, and some of y'all are still sitting over here going, this is unconstitutional. Don't worry, it's going to get tied up in courts. And while it's tied up in courts, people in towns like mine, Temecula, which is filled with hateful folks who believe in that kind of rhetoric and want to force their beliefs on people, are going to start acting on it. They're going to start implementing shit. While it's being fought in the courts, people living in red states and people living in wannabe towns like mine will be fighting the folks who are saying, we're following the law of our God King. Because, okay, cruelty is the point for all of them, which is why I made the podcast episode. I just uploaded it today and made a little post on here today calling out steeple-peopleness and how it's the problem. How if it was so great, they wouldn't have to keep trying to force it on people. They wouldn't have to indoctrinate it. They wouldn't have to fuse it to the government so that it's enforced on people. If it was so wonderful, it would sell itself. If it was so great, it would sell itself. And like I saw other creators saying recently, they wear crosses because otherwise you wouldn't be able to tell who they are. They don't act the way they should. If you had to go by their actions, you wouldn't know who they are. That's why they wear massive crosses to show that they're a part of the club, because their behavior does not. They are some of the nastiest, meanest people you will ever meet. Again, talking about steeple people, all right? The folks that are like, my personal faith, your personal faith, as long as you keep it to you, is fine. But if you're one of those folks wearing a 3-inch cross talking about how everyone needs to be forced to think just like you're one of the problems, okay? So I remind you again that this administration is illegitimate and illegal, that these are criminals, felons, addicts, etc. We, the people, have no intention of complying with any of it. So when you hear it, get upset, get mad, and then remember that we need to keep the pressure on, keep the people in the streets, keep the messaging going out. For the folks that are looking to talk to each other and looking to connect, you know, I keep saying we need a team of vets, former government officials, folks with tactical knowledge and experience that could assist anyone who wants to participate in the physical removal that needs to happen sooner or later. Because, yeah, then it's not a mistake that they are simultaneously trying to defund and dissolve the Department of Education while creating an anti-STEEPLEPEOPLE task force to make sure that people online are all, okay? I just said these people are a problem because they want to force their shit on everyone else. Their deity said we can have choice, and they're running around saying, no, you can't. The reason they say, no, you can't, is because it's a mind control tool. It's easy when everyone is uneducated and religious. Then everyone does they don't ask questions. They don't think for themselves. They don't want evidence. They don't want science. They just do what they're told. That's what they want. Oklahoma right now is churning out little steeple people soldiers. That's what they're doing, okay? The education is low. They're fusing it with religion and Bible and commandments, and then making it so that they're not allowing them to graduate unless they get into college or join the military. They're also banning children with disabilities from going to public school so that it doesn't mess up their system of fully indoctrinating them and then spitting them out into the military, completely brainwashed and ready to do whatever they're told without empathy. That is what these people are about, okay? Trust someone who is not only neurofeisty, but grew up in it. When I say these people have no soul and no bottom, trust me, it can get way darker than where it already is. And no one is going to stop them but us. And I'm going to keep reminding y'all of that multiple times a day until I see some butts in the streets. By butts in the streets, I mean the people that need to be carried outside. Until we see them outside, you will hear me saying this.